just said, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. This is our first webinar of the sort of autumn season and starting to talk about the markets going into winter. So my name's Nick Gauntlett. I'm the CEO of Dukefield Energy. I will just hand over to Michelle from CPC just to give a quick introduction, and then we'll start going through.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. So yeah, I'm Michelle Newcombe. I'm the procurement manager at the CPC. For those that might not know the CPC, we are owned and run by the education sector, and we produce compliant frameworks. So we have around 86 at the moment, utilities being one of them. We have a dedicated webpage on our website as well. So all my contact details are on there with supporting documents and also links to Nick and the team at Dukefield. Thanks, Nick.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Michelle. Right, welcome everybody. So let's see. So today we will touch on the markets, what's happening in energy at the moment. It's obviously been a very volatile time over the last sort of 18 months. So it's just to give you a bit more information and detail around the markets and what we believe is right to do for the here and now for October renewals, and then looking forward into next year. There is never it's always a good time just to look as far afield as possible, up to 12 months, to look at energy. We're also just going to touch on our lovely new framework and all the different lots that we have on there. The contract options as well, just to give you a bit of an idea about what is out there and how we can help and support. The portal, access to the portal gives lots of information to all our customers. And then at the end, we'll have a question and answering session. So if everybody has any questions, please just put them in the chat and the question and answering, and Michelle and I will go through those and answer any questions that anybody has, and we'll do our best to make sure we can get through those through the end as well. So gas, electricity and water contracts can be procured through the framework. It's across 3 lots. Following a Public Contracts Regulations 2015 compliant tendering process, Dukefield Energy became the sole appointed consultant on the framework at inception. Dukefield Energy, we are a full service consultancy. We look after you from the very beginning. We'll go through all the tendering, all the information that we need at the beginning, and offer you some advice on what we think is best to do with your utility, depending on when your contract renewals are up, depending on how much you use, all the different bits and pieces there. So we talk you through everything. If you then decide to use this multi-supplier framework and you sign a contract, then we will allocate you an account manager, and you will be looked after through the whole process. So through the whole contract period, you'll have that account manager do all your bill validation or your query management. They'll look after you to ensure that everything is running nice and smoothly with your chosen supplier. We've had over 20 years of education sector experience, and we understand the issues faced by the education establishments, particularly in the last 18 months. It has been extremely volatile, and we've been really championing all the good things about the sector and what we can do to help and support alongside the government and the DfE as well. We are a safe pair of hands and a trusted partner for procuring gas and electricity contracts. And we delivered CPC members savings over £3.5 million collectively on their gas and electricity contracts over the last 3 years. So it has been very volatile. We have seen incredibly high prices over the last 18 months. It's due to a lot of things. We obviously had the war with Russia and Ukraine way back in March 2022. That then started this trend of rising prices until just at the end of the summer 2022 last year, where prices hit their peak, and we saw some incredibly high prices. We were talking sort of 80, 90p for electricity and around 20, 21p for gas, which is just unheard of and levels we'd never seen in the industry before. It then dropped down quite considerably after the summer last year. These are due to lots of different things. So I'll just go through a few bits and pieces of where we are right now and where we think the market's going to be going with all our knowledge and everything else that we do on a daily basis. So the market's come down, unseasonably mild weather. The EU gas demand fell by more than 60% in winter months due to mild temperatures last year. So believe it or not, we obviously saw incredibly high prices, but these could have been even worse. The market last winter started to drop off quite considerably, and it was due to the UK and Europe not using anywhere near as much gas and electricity. It was to do storage levels as well. So we didn't use anywhere near as much, and prices started to fall, which was really good. It was due to the warm weather that we had. And if we'd had a real big cold spell and a spike, we'd have seen prices spike back up again quite considerably. Storage levels right now are standing above 30% above their 5-year average, which means far less injection through the last summer, which means we are sitting very pretty at the moment for winter 2023, with gas storage way above the normal levels for this time in the year. We have had Norwegian gas plants. We've had a few issues during the summer where there was a few upgrading on the gas Norwegian pipelines. We get quite a bit of gas coming through the North Sea from Norway into our country. And we just saw that they had to upgrade those pipelines quite a bit, which meant there was a few spikes and bits and pieces this summer. So we kept a very close eye on that. But I am pleased to say that things have all been coming back down to normal now. Centrica, which produces gas, signed a 15-year LNG deal with the USA. Hugely important. Gives us continuity of gas supply for another 15 years, which is great. The big ships coming across from America, they come in, dock in, and they upload the LNG gas into our network and our grid, ensuring that we've got a good supply of gas. Counter to that, though, the EU is looking to ban Russian LNG. Obviously, gas and oil has all been banned from Russia, coming across the pipelines there from Russia. But what they're now looking to do is ban all LNG shipments coming into the EU as well. That will increase competition for European countries, as well as we're seeing China up their productivity in this as well, and they take a lot. After COVID, Russia shut down during COVID. China shut down during COVID quite a bit, and we saw that they didn't take anywhere near as much energy as they normally would do. That's changed considerably, and they're now starting to buy up a lot of the LNG around the world, which is making prices hold. We've also got some concerns around French strikes and their aging nuclear infrastructure. We do get quite a bit of electricity through the Channel Tunnel with France as well, so we're just keeping a bit of an eye on that at the moment. In terms of prices, where we're at, they've come down considerably, and they're not where they used to be. However, things are looking much better than this time last year, which I'm pleased to say. Whether it's a new normal, we just have to keep a close eye on that and see what's going on. We are looking at any issue coming into these winter months. Prices do tend to rise in the winter. There's no getting away from that. So we're keeping a close eye on all those things at the moment. Let's just have a look. So, our lovely new framework. We have always done a multi-supply framework on gas, electricity and water. So we still do that. Lots 1, 2 and 3 are still electricity, gas and water, where you can supply and get your energy through those on that multi-supply framework. However, there was a huge demand for on-site generation, additional lots and energy management. So we thought having a compliant route to market for CPC members out there, having a look at lots 4, 5, 6 and 7. So lots 4 is energy efficient solutions like LED lighting. That LED lighting is one of the quick wins that you can have out there. It's around 60% more efficient than normal strip lighting, and it doesn't cost you a huge amount of money to upgrade that. So it's one of the first things that we think that is a very good idea out there at your organisations to be able to look at. So if you haven't looked at LED lighting, we've certainly got a compliant route to market for you there. Lot 5, on-site generation, solar photovoltaics, solar panels. There's a couple of ideas you can have here. So you can have solar panels on the roof and any electricity that you generate from the sun, you can then supplement the amount that you use. You effectively use that to draw into your grid there at your organisation. Therefore, you're not taking as much from the grid, and therefore you're saving some money. Or there's another element where you can generate a lot of electricity from the sun, and then you can put it back into the grid and get a payment for that. I will just warn you that the payments now, the kilowatt hour rate that you get now is a lot less than it used to be. So the government subsidies have really reduced over the last few years. So what we are seeing a lot of people doing is just using that generation to supplement their usage. On-site generation, heat pumps. So you can have ground source heat pumps, air source heat pumps. These are very, very good bits of kit that can really reduce your you increase your efficiency on your site and reduce the amount you use. They're not the cheapest, but they're one of the things that can really drive down. If you've got that net zero goal and that carbon reduction, they're some of the last things that you can do to really ensure that you've reduced your carbon emissions. And then we've got supply metering services, building energy management software. So if you've done a lot of, you've got a lot of bits of kit around your sites and everything else, these building energy management software, they draw everything together, put it into one big package for you, and they control everything to ensure that you are as efficient as possible so you can keep an eye on it. You can have things like monitoring systems on your phone, and it will be able to lead your estates department to be able to control that at all times to making sure that you're doing everything you can to drive down your costs, which is good. So there we go, additional lots across the board for you that are all a compliant route to market. So contract options. Obviously, we have a lot of people got October renewals coming up right now. It's really important that if anybody has an October renewal now, if you haven't got anything sorted, please get in touch. No obligation, doesn't cost you anything. If you would like anything, any support from us and Michelle at CPC, please get in contact with us. If we're then looking through to April, again, now is a good time to start looking. You genuinely see that during the winter months, prices do start to climb. So if you've got an April renewal into 2024, it's certainly now is a good time to start looking at that. So what do our suppliers do? We offer, I think it's around 40 separate products across our suppliers, and that can be fully fixed, fully flexible, across what we call brown energy, which is your normal energy, or very renewable green energy as well, and lots of different products for all of those. And we can talk you through that depending on your circumstances at your organization and what would work best for you. So I'll just go through these. So fully fixed. Both the energy and the third-party costs are fixed for the duration of contract. Everything's fully fixed. You know exactly what you're going to pay, so it's nice and easy to budget and everything else. We do see a lot of education establishments, particularly the sort of mid-size down to the smaller primary school end, all going fully fixed, which is the right way to go. Energy only. The energy cost, so the pence per kilowatt hour, the actual commodity of it is fixed. And then all other non-energy costs are passed through to the customer at cost. These can then verify throughout the contract term. What we are seeing, and because of everything that happened during COVID and the high costs and everything else, we're seeing a lot of these third-party charges rise. So back in the day, energy-only contracts used to be a very good thing. We are starting to see that these aren't quite so favourable anymore because those third-party costs are being driven up. So if you don't fix them, what you tend to find is that they rise throughout your contract term, and what you were paying at the beginning is a lot higher towards the end because of the increase in costs. These are things like renewable generation, taxes and levies from the government, all these bits and pieces that are pass-through costs from the supplier. The supplier don't add in anything there. It is all these costs that are passed through to you, and these are all rising. And also this fully flexible. We can offer a fully flex price for you on gas and power. What we can also advise is you fix your non-energy costs. So you fix those pass-through charges, taxes and levies, and then we look at the commodity element and we flex that. So we use all our knowledge and everything else, and we use our trading facility here, and we speak to the suppliers and we build tranches of your electricity and gas at the right times throughout your contract to get you the best possible price. And if done right, you can save a lot of money through that. I will say that flexible tends to work a lot better for the larger organizations that use quite a bit of energy. It's where you start seeing those savings. If you're a smaller organization, you don't tend to see those savings there. So fully flex tends to be those bigger multi-academy trusts, universities and other bits and pieces. But again, what we tend to do is speak to each organization that gets in contact. We build a whole proposition around you, find out what your needs are and everything else, and we come up with the right solutions for you and talk that through with your account manager and everything here. So we can offer lots of different advice depending on circumstances. So we have our energy portal as well. We now have the facility for our customers to have easy access to their own energy management reports. It's a web-based platform and it's delivered by our partner in Systems Link. It allows you to see exactly when you're using the energy and everything else, and it allows you to drive down and have lots of different reports. We set you up access once you're with us. We can give you logins to as many people you need at your organisation, and we can start tailoring our portal to you as an organisation to see what you need and want. Drive down right down to a meter level and exactly when you're using the most amount of electricity. Particularly on half-hourly electricity, we get those readings every half hour and it gets plugged into our system so you can see exactly where the hotspots are and everything else. And you can compare building by building, site by site. You can have sort of in-house competitions in terms of who's saving the most amount of electricity and energy. Lots of bits and pieces that we can set up there as well. So it's very important that we give you as much information to your fingertips to be able to help you drive down costs. And obviously we can help you with all that as well. So, yes, any questions at all? Happy just to put them in the chat and we'll go through them. Just to sort of round everything up for you. Anybody on October renewals, we've obviously only got just over a week and a bit. Please get in contact, no obligation. We can help offer support and advice and everything else. Again, anybody with your renewals coming up to 1st of April next year as well, now is a good time to really come and have a look. We can go through the whole tendering process with you, what we think would be the best solution for you, and offer help and advice. Right now, we're hearing lots of information out there. People should go really long term, everything else. Right now, prices have come down quite nicely. They're at a nice static level and a static plateau. Now, we've got to keep a very close eye on in terms of anything happens around the market, whether it's going to jump back up again. Obviously, being fixed and making sure your contracts is sorted is the right thing to do. But there's no need to go real long term. If you go real long term and the market still drop another 15–20%, you're still stuck paying that for a long time, sort of 3–4 years. We're starting to see contracts from other TPIs and other bits and pieces out there. I would certainly look at most of our customers at the moment are just renewing for 12 months. You do a 12-month contract, it allows you to lock in through the winter period, get everything sorted out. You know you've got flexibility there with your budget, but everything is sorted out. Then if we do have some horrible spikes or anything else happens around the world at the moment, particularly with everything going on, you're protected through the winter. 12 months, obviously at any point in those 12 months, we can go back out into the market and extend that for you. So if we do see some prices that are coming down, we can obviously take advantage of that for you as well. So again, we can build things around you. So definitely it's what I would advise. Anybody between now and April, please get in contact with ourselves and Michelle at CPC. We can offer any advice, no obligation, and we can help you out. And certainly go shorter term. Don't look at really long term 4 or 5 year deals or anything out there at the moment. There's no need to do that just now. So bit of advice. Anybody has any questions, please put them in the chat and we'll go through them now. Get through. So I will
just had one there, Nick, from Sue. So one of the clients, they have a renewal date in April. So she's saying, I presume we should go out for quotes now as prices are likely to rise through the winter. The gas is currently with Dukefield.
Perfect. Yes. So yes, absolutely. We are looking at everybody now. We're obviously wrapping all the October renewals and bits and pieces out. I would certainly we'll be in touch. We'll get prices for you. We can have a look. Obviously, no obligation and everything there. But anything for April, definitely let's start looking at getting prices now because things will rise throughout the winter months. We'll start to drop off into the new year, but we've got to be a bit careful. They might not drop considerably, so we just have to be a bit careful there. So we can certainly have a look for you soon. Okay.
Thanks, Nick. And the next one, if the contract's not up until next October, when would you advise?
October, March next year as well. So hi, Paul. Yeah, perfect. We can renew anything up to 12 months in advance. So we can have a look. Certainly October next year, we can at least give you some. I'm already doing some pricing for some of our really big customers at the moment for October 2024. We're having a look at those just to give people an idea about budgets and where things are at. It's been so volatile in the last 18 months that a lot of people are looking there going, I don't know, you know, in terms of budgeting from October next year, where are we at, where prices are. Most important thing, get in contact, and we can get you prices now for the end of September, October next year onwards. Just to give you an idea, there's no reason you need to sign right now. You've obviously got 12 months. There's a bit of time there, but the idea of us giving you prices, we can just track that market for you. We can refresh those prices a number of times for you when we see drops in the market, and we do our very best to obviously get you the best possible price. So yeah, anybody within 12 months, we can price it, we can look at it, and it'll just give you that peace of mind that you have some budget for next year and you know what you're going to be paying. Obviously, we'll try and beat that as we get the refreshes coming in. So, yeah, hopefully that helps, Paul.
Great, thanks, Nick. I think that's it. Does anyone else have any questions just while we've got Nick on the call, or it's worth, even if no questions are too silly, if you've got something to raise? Nope. Oh, there we go. So who are the current framework suppliers for the gas and electricity?
We've narrowed them right down. So we've done a really big tendering process, and we did that the back end of last year into this year, and then we awarded it to a number of the suppliers. We have got Drax, we have got Total Energies, we have got SSE as well. So those three big ones there are the ones that have hit all our targets in terms of SLA, all the financial bits and pieces we put on them as well. We did a very, very strict process in ensuring that we've got the very best possible suppliers here. Ones that are not going to go anywhere. Obviously, we've seen, I think it's 32 suppliers in 2022 went bust. We don't want anybody going bust on our supply network. We want to make sure that everybody there is locked in and everybody is safe. We want to ensure that everybody's query management is looked after. We want to ensure we've got the very best possible ones on that. So we've narrowed it right down there for you to the very best sort of cream of the crop there. I hold monthly meetings with them all, holding to an account, ensuring that they have their best interests of all our customers and CPC members there. So yes, there we go. I also just remembered that I will just start sharing my screen again very briefly, because I didn't put the contact details on that screen as well. It's always the next slide. So if anybody can see that, here's our contact details. Let me just see if anybody can see that. There we go. But yeah, please get in contact with ourselves or Michelle at CPC. You can go through their website and go through our website as well. Just get in contact. There's no obligation. We can price as many times as you want. Have a look. We can set tenders up for you. Doesn't cost you anything at all at that point in time at all. The most important thing is that you know what your budget is, you feel comfortable with things and everything else. So as I say, no obligation for getting in contact and having a good chat with ourselves here and the account manager here at Dukefield Energy, and hopefully we can help you budget and basically get through these incredibly volatile times that we've had recently. It's the most important thing. We're here for the education sector. So yeah, there's our contact details.
There is just a couple more there. Sorry, Graham's just come back to say the framework end date same for gas and electricity. I think that, yes, so the Dukefield contract has been put in place. It is the same, yeah, all the lots end at the same day.
Yes, all lots. It is a 3+1 year. It was awarded at the beginning of this year. So we've got another 3 years plus an extra year to extend as well. We also have the ability that if any suppliers aren't adding up to scratch, we are allowed to remove them from the framework and everything else if they don't hit certain criteria and everything in terms of being able to offer prices, customer service, all those bits and pieces as well. So we ensure that we have the very best possible ones on there that offer you a range of prices.
Access to FOC AMR solutions.
Oh, let's have a look. So let's have a look. Let me just have a look at that. Framework access to AMR. So yes, so all our suppliers offer automatic meter reading, half-hourly data we can get all in there. Effectively offer all that. We also do it in water as well. Leak detection, those bits and pieces as well. So the most important thing is we give everybody access to meter reads and bits and pieces. There's a big government scheme of rolling out automatic meter reading across the board. It's sort of halfway through. You tend to find the bigger meters, your bigger half-hourly meters and your bigger gas meters are automatically getting upgraded very quickly. The smaller ones, they're a bit further down the chain. We can certainly work with the suppliers to ensure that you get meters exchanged there. So you can do that. We've also got the ability in companies to be able to put really detailed energy monitoring systems at your sites as well, and really drill down into that. So if there is something that's really keen on you having all that data, then we can certainly look at that for you as well. AMR schools.
Paul had one on that as well there, saying our schools are keen to monitor their own usage and explore as a curriculum resource.
Let's have a look. That's called that's interesting. Yeah, so in terms of energy monitoring, we can do all that. It gives you access to the portal. We can send you complete reports on energy monitoring. In terms of a curriculum resource, we can certainly set up coming in, speaking about energy at schools. I've done it quite a bit in the past, giving information to students and other bits and pieces as well. Getting the kids involved in energy saving and bits and pieces, and our suppliers as well. They've signed up. We can invite our suppliers, particular ones. If you're with, you have used the framework and you're with a particular supplier, I can invite them to come in and have a chat with the kids as well. There are things I'm just going to talk about: Drax, huge power station, and bits and pieces, and renewable power stations that they do school visits and things as well. So we can start to link up if you've got you as an organisation want to invite them to come to your sites and have a chat, or we can arrange school visits and other bits and pieces. We can do all that as well. So yeah, it's about getting people engaged as much as we can, and we can certainly offer that.
Ray mentions invoice validation being free of charge.
Yes.
So that's all included, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yes, that's it. Invoice validation. We effectively get the invoices come straight to us on the day that they are produced by the supplier, just to ensure that we get that. We go through it, we validate it with our software in terms of things like the readings, the VAT, the CCL, all the other bits and pieces to ensure it's correct. We then have a 24-hour turnaround once we get that to be able to email everything over to you as an organisation and rubber stamp it to say, yes, absolutely, it's fine. Payment is okay. So yeah, we do a lot of invoice validation across the whole board. It's all managed by our account managers that you'll be given here if you are one of our customers. Let's have a look. I'm just thinking, Graham, I've seen bronze AMR solutions with Total Energies. So yeah, we link up very heavily with Total Energies. Again, you've gone through that bronze AMR solutions. We can upgrade those, we can downgrade them, we can do lots of bits and pieces there as well. So yeah, definitely all the suppliers on our market, SSE as well, and Drax, all AMR solutions we can look at.
I think that's everything with the questions. Seem to have covered quite a lot in that session.
Yes. Most important thing for everybody is just get in contact with ourselves and CPC in plenty of time. The last thing we want anybody to do is fall out of contract for any reason or anything. We do see very high out of contract rates. It's about just looking far in advance. The more time you give us, the better sort of prices we can give you, because we can start talking around that solution for you and building everything around you, and then we can find the best time to procure those utilities. Obviously, if we get in contact very late in the day, sometimes if we see a big spike in the market, the market doesn't come back down quick enough for us able to get out there and get you the best possible prices. So it's always plenty of time. Anytime, next 12 months, please get in contact with us and we can help and support. So hopefully that.
And just to stress the point, really, that there's no obligation if you do that. We've got the forms for the letter of authority on the website that you can complete, and the spreadsheet asking for the basic detail information that Dukefield would need. But by all means, Nick and his team can go out to obtain them pricing, but you are under no obligation. So even if you're just considering it and not 100% sure, please just let us have that chance, really, to get those prices.
Definitely. And lastly, we are now through the summer break. We're starting up these. We're going to be doing a webinar every month now. We're going to start inviting some of our suppliers as well on the framework to come and just do a bit of a guest spot as well. Talk a bit about the markets, and then we'll hand over to them just to give you a little bit of a background to them and bits and pieces as well. We're trying to keep it as relevant as possible and just make these as interesting as we can over the next few months. So we'll be sending out lots of information about these, but as I say, we're going to try and do at least one a month over the next couple of months running up to Christmas. So yeah, thank you very much for everybody's time. Hopefully it has been helpful, and yeah, we will be in touch soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nick.